Hey guys, this is Captain Fruit reporting for duty for another episode of Road Rage. For those of you that are unfamiliar with Road Rage, these are completely unscripted, just more relaxed community builders where I'm either driving with a hands-free set or doing my exercise. And today I'm doing my exercise. So if I seem a little maybe out of breath, it's because I've already cranked in about an hour fast-paced brisk walk. Now that's still not a whole lot, but when you're walking at a fast pace, it's good. I like to crank in that or some good running. So anyway, yeah, my heart rate right now is at 111, 112. So, a little bit fast. Well, anyway, I like to share, and I want to start off today with talking about a positive thing. I read, and this is sort of interesting, thank goodness here, that gaming saved a young man's life. Now, he was in his home. I don't know if it was his home, he lived with his parents. I don't know the situation, but he was gaming online, and he had his gaming headset on, and evidently, and this was in California, I believe, a stray bullet, I don't know if there was a gunfight somewhere or what, came through, went through, and hit him in the headset, ricocheted off his headset, and saved his life. Because without that headset, it probably would have, hit him in the head and possibly killed him. So yeah, the gaming headset. It was a Razer headset, and Razer, I guess, contacted him. They're going to be sending him some new headsets as well as some other trinkets. But wow, could you imagine? So anyway, it saved his life, but it probably did save his KD ratio, because I would only assume it messed up his game. I don't even know what game he was playing, but could you imagine that? I could picture that. So yeah, the reason he was still alive today is because of lag. But he's alive, and that is a wonderful thing. The next thing I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about two more things, just so you know, so stick with me here, okay? The next thing I want to talk about is the new release of the HD remake of House of the Dead. I am a huge House of the Dead fan. Anybody knows me on my channel, that is one of my favorite game series. I don't have the original House of Dead because that's on the Saturn, and I don't have a Saturn, which I almost bought one a couple of years ago just to try to get my hands on that game, and I kicked myself because I didn't buy it because I could have got a good deal on it, and now they're much more expensive. Well, anyway, the game on that system still isn't that great in the first place, so they did an HD remake for the Nintendo Switch, and I have to admit, instantly I was a little leery. I did not buy this, but I did do is check it out at a friend's house. And sadly to say, it's what I was afraid of. The controls just aren't there. With the Joy-Cons, they're not built to be like a light gun kind of game, whereas the Wii was a fantastic light gun system, as well as the Wii U, because you could use that as well. Absolutely fantastic for those type of on-the-rail light gun shooters. Love those. This is not. And they're just Switch controllers are just not really the best for that. It's just not intuitive and not the best. Matter of fact, even one of the ways they made it so you could play it too is instead of using it like a light gun, you could actually use the analog stick and control the reticle for targeting, which I don't like that in light gun games. I just don't. I like a point and shoot, have that gun peripheral in your hand. And who knows, maybe they'll make a peripheral for it that'll make it better. But even with that, it's still not quite there where it needs to be for movement-wise and things like that, where you have to recenter it, which is what I was afraid of. And not as bad as I thought it could be, but it just isn't great. Matter of fact, it's almost like they eased up the gameplay just so that it can accommodate for the poor controls, which is terrible because if anybody knows the House of the Dead, they're fast-paced, cheesy, gun shooting like crazy romps. Absolutely love playing that series with my son or anybody else that will play it with me. Well, so there goes that. But, and this is rumor, and I hope it's true. There is some rumor out there that some back-end documentation was found that there might be a release for this game for the PlayStation. And I hope that's true. Now, I don't have the PlayStation 5. But right now, a lot of times, a game like that would probably be on the PlayStation 4 as well, which would be wonderful because then you could use the Move controllers. While the Move controllers weren't as good as the Nintendo Wii controller for light gun games, it's still very good. I have a lot of great games and peripherals for the Move controllers to make a lot of gun shooting fun for that system. One of the biggest things that held that back, though, was the cost of the Move controllers. I remember seeing them in a bargain bin bucket where I could get them for like $5 a piece, and I passed on that. I was like, I'm never going to use these. And then they started releasing some stuff for it later on. I was like, oh, I want those. And then they were like $50. I got lucky and got a good deal. I got like 4 of them for that price. So, whew, thank goodness. But still, way crazy on the price of those. So I'd like to see that. Hopefully, I'm hoping it's released for PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. Would step it up a notch even more. I hope it comes to VR. Oh, sold. That would be absolutely amazing. I could not. Oh, it'd be like, take my money now. And I'm very reserved on buying new games. I can't tell you the last time I bought a brand new video game. It might have been on the Super Nintendo. So anyway, man. Well, no, that's not true. I buy them once in a while. I got a couple new ones for like $10 each. So I misspoke there. I got some PlayStation 4 ones for $10 brand new or less. So anyway, that's part number 2. The next thing I want to talk about is my music stuff. For those of you that have been paying attention to the channel for the music, I hope you have. Some of those tips are good for if you're making videos or if you're doing audio. I've been doing more of that. But I just wanted to talk about a current song I'm working on. If you're a subscriber to the channel, to that Patreon or Subscribestar, I really need more Subscribestar subscribers. I've only got 1 right now on Subscribestar, and I'm very thankful, but I can't even collect the payouts. You can't collect the payouts until it hits a certain number, and also you have to have, I think, 5 people to your Subscribestar account. So I can't collect it if I wanted to use that for more reviews and stuff until I get more people on there. So if you want to help out, just go to my Subscribestar for $1 a month. Boom. You'll get access to extra videos that are just for you, as well as what I'm talking about right now, music. I'm working on another song right now. I shouldn't really say new. I'm re-recording it. It was actually on an album that I released many years ago. It wasn't a great recording. I self-released that album. Maybe I'll talk about my record label offers in another video sometime. If you want to hear about that, let me know, and maybe I can tell you about some of that. And those are some interesting stories. So anyway, at this point, I did a release. I did it myself, my own record label that I started at that time. And I believe this song was released in 96, maybe? Probably between 96 and 98, yeah. So the song's old. But I'm re-recording it. And I got to lay down the guitar tracks and vocals. And that'll probably be the next song that's available on the for the Patreon supporters. And there's another thing too. Right now, for the Patreon supporters, what I've been doing is releasing the music there, but they're instrumental versions. There's no vocal track on it. If you're interested to have them with the vocal track, let me know. Maybe I'll make another page, and so there'll be ones with vocal and without. Because mainly the point of those are for people to use for backgrounds of videos, but some people have been using them for ringtones, they told me. Things like that. I wanted people to have background music because they didn't have to worry about royalties. And usually vocals on that isn't very helpful because it sort of gets in the way. But maybe I'll release some versions with the vocals separately on a different access page. Probably same tier. Maybe I'll put it on the $5 tier or something like that. Who knows? But I thought originally just put those on Spotify or something like that. But anyway, I'm working on that. But yeah, it's taken me back a little bit. The song is called Why, and it's about taking that next step in faith, and how it can be scary to take that leap of faith, to put your whole heart, your mentality into believing something. Henceforth, why it's called faith. And songs like, why am I so afraid? Why can't I break these chains? And the chains represent earthly things that hold you back. As I said, you can't serve 2 masters. You have to let one go. And one of the challenging ones for a lot of people is money, right? If you believe in faith, usually you should be believing in tithing. And that's a very big step. That's at least 10% of what you bring in that you have to give back. And you have to give back with an open heart and joy and not any remorse in that. And taking that step is very challenging, especially when you're poor and barely making ends meet. How do you do that? And I challenge people, don't be afraid to take that step. You'd be surprised of what opportunities will open and arise. I'm not saying life will always be easy. It won't. But he will provide. And that's what that song is about. Getting past not just the money parts, but everything else of the secular world that holds you down. And why are you afraid? Why? What is holding you back? And think about what can be so good in the secular world that can hold you back from everlasting life and enjoy. No, and enjoyment and just complete bliss. I know some of you this might turn off because you don't believe, and that's okay too. You be you. That's just me, and I hope you're okay with me being me as well. And once again, maybe you don't like that stuff, so maybe you'll just like the music without the vocals. But that's the song I'm working on now. I'm also teetering on whether to add a guitar solo to this song. So I didn't have one originally. I can easily put one in if I want to. I'm just figuring out, does it really require one? Sometimes solos can be self-indulgent and not really needed. My thought is if it fits the song. So, only time to tell, I plan on hitting the studio again and doing that. The vocals might take a while because I've been trying to refrain from doing vocal tracks because my studio flooring is still tore out. I tore all that out because I'm going to be putting in some new hardwood style flooring in my studio, so it's still a bit of a mess. And I really need to be getting on that. My goal was to get that done over 2 months ago. It's just things break. Car things, I just had to drop $500 something fixing the car. I had to buy a new clothes washer, which that was like $800 almost because that broke. Yeah, this is not a pity me, by the way. I'm doing fine, so no worries there. It's just, I'm very cautious and making sure I have enough money in my rainy day fund for those kinds of things, and I don't want to be taking out too much at once because I figure it's going to cost me probably around $700 to $800 to do that flooring myself. It's the big room in my studio, so I just want to make sure I do it at the fiscally responsible time, which is something we should all be doing. It's easy to get excited and want to jump on something and buy it right away, but please be fiscally responsible in doing that. I find that often with people in music. That's why I find so many items, musical items, instruments, guitars especially, and bass guitars in pawn shops. Because people get excited, they buy things they really probably shouldn't, and they didn't put themselves in the best financial position. And I don't want that to happen henceforth. Captain Frugal here, right? Wait until you have a safety net. Wait until you can truly afford it and not be taking undue risk. Well, thanks for listening to me babble today. I want to know your thoughts. Well, are you planning on getting the House of the Dead? Have you already gotten it, that remake? What do you think of it if you did? Do you got any music projects coming up? I would love to hear them. Absolutely. I love the community and all it has, whether it be gaming, comic books, music, tech, whatever it is. I love the back and forth and sharing and helping of information. It is absolutely wonderful. I got more gear reviews coming up and things, some old tech reviews that I want to do. I'm thinking about doing my TC Helicon Nova system, an older piece of tech that's still wonderful in my opinion, as well as some other things. Maybe my 11 rack, who knows? But I'm looking forward to having a lot of fun with that stuff, and maybe you will too. Well, I hope you take care. Until next time, keep it roll.